Could you handle living locked inside a metal tube, millions of kilometers away from Earth, for months? No sky to gaze at. No one to hug. Nowhere to run. Sounds insane, doesn't it? But that's exactly what astronauts face on a mission to Mars. Space travel might look like a dream, a fantasy come true. But what few people talk about is the psychological toll of such a journey. Total isolation. Constant stress. Disrupted sleep. Explosive conflicts. And the worst part? Earth, completely out of sight. Can you even imagine what that does to someone's mind? In this video, we're going to open the hatch not of a spaceship, but of the human mind in space. We'll dive into real cases, emotional breakdowns in orbit, extreme training methods, and the emotional risks of living where no therapist can reach you. If you think going to Mars is just a matter of courage, wait until you see what this mission demands from your soul. The launch moment is electrifying. Engines roaring. The cabin shaking. Your heart pounding like never before. But behind all the excitement, there's a heavy silence. The awareness that this isn't just a trip. It's the beginning of a long, isolating exile. The astronaut knows. They're leaving everything behind. Family. Routine. Familiar smells. Familiar sounds. Even the simple act of looking out the window and seeing their backyard. That's when the psychological weight starts to press down. It's not just the physical distance from Earth. It's the emotional abyss that opens up. Space demands more than technical preparation. It requires mental balance on a nearly superhuman level. Because even before you reach Mars, the mission has already begun. Inside your head. And staying sane becomes just as essential as oxygen. Months and months. Locked in a tight space. Hearing the same voices. Seeing the same faces. Repeating the same routine over and over again. Isolation on a Mars mission is relentless. There are no open windows. No park strolls. No late-night calls to a friend. It's a physical and emotional confinement that tests every limit of the human mind. Over time, little annoyances become big problems. A snide remark. A misread glance. Everything can spark tension. Stress on a space mission isn't just about technical risks. It's about the invisible pressure of being far from home. With no way out. And with no possibility of a quick return to Earth. Even the smallest discomfort can become a ticking emotional time bomb. Teamwork is hard enough here on Earth. Now imagine doing it inside a metal tube. Floating in space. With months ahead. And zero privacy. Communication becomes a delicate art. Tone matters. Silence weighs heavy. Even a badly timed joke can spark a conflict. Multicultural crews can be a powerful strength, but also a complex challenge. Different cultures, habits, expressions can all create friction. And when isolation and stress kick in, any misunderstanding can grow out of proportion. Group harmony is vital. Because in a hostile environment, your teammate stops being just a colleague and becomes either a source of support or a breaking point. When psychological pressure builds up, even the smallest spark can ignite an emotional fire. Internal conflicts threaten the mission. Trust starts to erode. Safety is put at risk. In a place where everything depends on cooperation, a single imbalance is enough to unleash chaos. Not just outside, but inside each mind. One striking example? The Soviet Soyuz 21 mission. Extreme isolation and exhaustion led to paranoia and possible group hallucinations. The case revealed just how fragile mental health becomes under confinement. Every emotional response matters. Because in space, the line between control and collapse is thinner than we'd like to believe. In space, the body loses its sense of day and night. No sunlight means no rhythm. The circadian clock gets confused. The brain drifts. Sleep patterns collapse. And when you can't sleep properly, your mood swings. Focus drops. Even basic tasks become uphill battles. The spacecraft might be silent, but inside the body, exhaustion screams. Cosmonaut Valentin Lebedev, aboard Sally at 7, reported deep fatigue and extreme irritability after months in orbit. His story showed how badly regulated sleep can unleash a chain reaction of emotional symptoms. On long missions like the one to Mars, sleep isn't a luxury. It's a psychological survival strategy. Seeing Earth from space has always been a comfort for astronauts. That small, familiar blue dot in the distance. But on a Mars mission, that dot vanishes completely. This triggers something known as Earth out of view. And with it, a disconnection that goes far beyond physical distance. It's like losing the ground beneath your feet, with nowhere to anchor your soul. This visual detachment has deep effects, many of which are still not fully understood. Without that visual reference of Earth, astronauts report feelings of emptiness, emotional disorientation, even existential crises. Because when everything you've ever known and loved disappears from the horizon, what keeps your mind from drifting away? In deep space, even missing home hits differently. Before heading into the unknown, every astronaut goes through a brutal psychological battlefield. Their training includes isolation simulations, stress tolerance tests, therapy sessions, and even the controlled use of medication. Because brilliance isn't enough. You have to be emotionally bulletproof. They're trained to deal with loneliness, with frustration, with the unpredictable. Medical protocols are ready for breakdowns, panic attacks, and full-on mental collapses. Everything is rehearsed, from guided meditation to conflict resolution. Because on a mission to Mars, keeping your body alive is just half the challenge. The other half lives entirely in your mind. After all this, the question is, could you spend months in space without losing your mind? More than physical endurance, this journey demands extraordinary mental resilience. Every detail, from lack of sleep to deafening silence, puts the astronaut's mind under pressure. And maybe, more than rockets or robotics, the hardest part of a mission to Mars is staying balanced inside yourself. Because if the mind can survive space, what else is it capable of? Right here, on Earth? What impossible missions have you been avoiding? Because of fear? Because of pressure? Because you didn't feel emotionally ready? Think about that. And if you enjoyed this dive into the psychological side of space exploration, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join us to uncover more mysteries that orbit the mind and the universe. Because knowledge is only the beginning.